Hi and welcome to ReaperTV. In tonight's video we're going to be taking a look at how to create a great metal sounding bass. We're going to take a look at what effects to use, we're going to take a look at how we can double track it, and how we can create a really meaty low end to make your bass sound amazing in the mix. So let's take a look at how we can do that now. So what I've got in front of me at the moment is just a simple DA track of the bass, and I've got a drum track that's recorded through MIDI. So what I'm going to do to start off with, I'm going to show you the clean track, just the DA bass with no effects, no EQ or anything on it, just so you can get a kind of feel for exactly what we're working with to start off with. So here we go. So as you can see, it's a typical clean sounding bass DI'd straight into my interface. So the first thing I want to do is actually create the bass root sound that I want for this, which is going to give it a little bit of drive, a little bit of distortion. And then we're going to take a look at how we can get even meatier, even fuller sound. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my effects panel, and what I'm going to use for this particular example is I'm going to use Tune Tracks Easy Mix, and I'm going to use one of the Metal Gods guitar pack samples. So what I've got on this is, if I go to bass, you can see I've got two different sort of settings that I use there. I've got Frederick Clean Bass and Ryan Big Nasty Bass. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't use Easy Mix. You could use anything that'll allow you to overdrive a guitar, and anything that'll allow you to sort of give a clean tone. So that the simple thing that we're looking to do here is have a clean sound that's the primary bass sound with just a little bit of drive, and then a really dirty, nasty, distorted sound that we're going to drop in the mix lower to give the two combined together, will give it a really good sound. So I'm going to use clean bass, and if I just select that and just A-B the track now so you can hear it with and without. So what you can see is it's definitely giving it a lot more low end. It's giving it a little bit sort of, just a bit more distortion, a bit more drive, as if the amp's being pushed. So there's the first part. So what we're going to do now is we're going to duplicate this track. So I'm going to copy this. And we're just going to drop that down to the next track. So I just got a duplicate. We're going to drop in there. So that's now completely DI'd. So let's just bring that back up in the mix to parity, just so I can show you. So if we listen, rewind it back. It's just the same DI. So now what we're going to do is come to the effects palette. Again, we're going to use Easy Mix. And one of my favorites, just bring up my bass, and we're going to use Big Nasty Bass. Now, I can adjust the drive and the EQ on this one, and like I say, the whole point of this is just to give it a really distorted sound. You know, the kind of thing that you don't really want to hear, but when it's in the mix, you kind of know it's there. So let's solo that again, and let's just A-B it. So this is with it on. So like I say, it's just a heavily overdriven, distorted bass. Now, if we put the two together, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to adjust the actual mix of the two elements, and I'll show you why now. So what we've got at the moment is the distorted bass is overpowering the bass, the main bass, the sort of cleaner of the two options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down, drop it down by about 20 dB, just like I say, so it's, you know it's there, but it's not in your face evident. So if we listen to the two now. So you can see what that does is it sort of lightens the bass sound up a little bit and just gives it a bit more sort of, how can you say, like a click to it. Obviously, you can adjust this to taste. I tend to find that around about the minus 20 dB kind of sits nice for my mix. So there's the first two things that we're doing. Now, if I just bring the drums back in, you can kind of listen to it a little bit more in context. So let's have a listen to that. As you can see, when you bring the drums into it, it actually fills the low end out. The rhythm section really does fill out quite nicely. So there's the first things I tend to do. Now, sometimes I actually bring a third track in there that I'll create more of a, how do you say, more attack to it to actually allow the bass to sort of click through a little bit more. But that depends on the kind of song that we're working with. For this example, this sort of mix of heavily distorted and slightly overdriven sounds work quite well. The other thing I'll do is I'll bring the effects palette up again, and I'm just going to bring in one of the EQs. So we're just going to use the stock EQ, and I'm going to use one of the presets on there, which is the bass low pass, which fundamentally takes off all the 2,500K and up and accentuates the bass low end. So let's listen to that again now, and we'll A/B it again so you can hear what I'm talking about. So that really does sort of fill out the low end of it quite considerably. Now, obviously, what I do is I normally go in there and apply a compressor to it and just to smooth things out. So let's just take a look at that. We'll just use the recomp, and I'll put that up to the top. So we've got that as the first thing in the signal chain. And I'll just come down and we'll just do something along the lines of driving rock bass. That's kind of where I start off with, and I'll adjust it if it needs be. So let's just solo that track out. So you can see it's just taken a couple of dB off the top, smoothing things out a little bit even more so. So again, let's put that back in the mix. And because we've got exactly the same on the other track, I'm just going to duplicate that EQ. So I'll just drag that over to the other bass track, and there we go, that's that job done. Oh, wrong one. Just delete that, sorry, I mean the compressor. So we're now compressing both tracks. So what that's going to give you, like I say, is it's going to give you a lot more low end. It's really going to fill out your rhythm section. The distortion allows it to sit really nicely with the guitars, and it just gives it a really full sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the entire song that uses this bass track with the same effects, just so you can kind of get a feel for the entire mix and how it all kind of sits together. So let's just rewind this back and take a little listen now with the guitars and the bass and everything else in there. Okay, so here we go. This is the full mix, and as you can see, I've got same bass lines. So you can see I've got easy mix and a compressor on there, and just easy mix on there. So I haven't actually EQ'd the second one, but you know, you kind of EQ it to taste exactly what you're looking for in any particular mix. So let's just have a listen to that. So hopefully what you can see with that is that it does give it a really thick, full sound, a nice low end in there, and that bass sort of technique really does fit out really well with metal. Well, I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please hit the subscribe button below. If you've got any comments, questions, or feedback on anything in this video, please pop those in the comment section as well. Remember, we release videos every Friday. And if you want more exclusive information and tutorials, please visit www.ReaperTV.co.uk, where you can get more exclusive content. Well, until next time, happy mixing.